All right, let's jump right in. We're going to explore something that is absolutely crucial for anyone on a spiritual journey: the difference between God's conviction and the enemy's condemnation. Learning to tell these two voices apart can literally be the key to unlocking real freedom and a much, much deeper relationship with God. So let's get into it. First things first, let's go back to the original design. Just try to imagine a relationship with God where there's zero fear, zero shame, no distance at all. That's the picture the Bible paints of the Garden of Eden, a state of just perfect fellowship, built entirely on love and trust. So, if everything was so perfect, what broke it? Well, it all came down to a single act of disobedience, a single choice to believe a lie instead of trusting God's voice. And that's what the Bible calls sin. It wasn't just a small mistake. It created a huge chasm, a separation between humanity and God. Now, it's really important to get this. Sin isn't just a list of bad things you do. The original Hebrew word for it, hata, literally means to miss the mark. I love that imagery. Think about an archer who's aiming for the bullseye, but the arrow falls short. That's sin. It's falling short of God's perfect, holy standard. And the result is that break in the very fellowship we were made for. And if you look at the story back in Genesis, you see this pattern emerge. And it's a sneaky one. Sin has a progression. It almost always starts with a desire, right? A longing for something we think we're missing. Then comes the deception, a little whisper, a lie that maybe God is holding out on us. And that lie, if we believe it, leads right to an act of disobedience. And the results were immediate and absolutely devastating. Just like that, the open, trusting relationship was gone. And in its place, shame and fear. Think about it. Adam and Eve, who used to walk with God, were now hiding from him. And that dynamic, hiding from the only one who can actually heal us, is one of the most tragic consequences of sin. Okay, so this is where it gets really, really important for us today. Because when we miss the mark, when we mess up, two very different voices start speaking to us. And these two voices lead to two completely different destinies. This is where we have to learn to tell the difference between conviction and condemnation. I love this slide because it just puts it all out there, crystal clear. On one hand, you've got condemnation. The Bible tells us this voice comes from the enemy, and its goal is simple: to destroy you. Its message is always, you're a failure, you are finished. But then you have conviction. That voice comes from God, and its goal is the total opposite: to restore. Its message is a gentle, loving whisper: come home. And get this, the actual Greek word used in the New Testament for convict is elisho. It's such a powerful word. It means to expose something, but, and this is key, it's not to shame you or condemn you. The whole point is correction and restoration. It's to bring what's in the dark into the light so it can finally be healed. It's like a loving father showing his son where he went wrong, not to crush his spirit, but to help him get it right next time. And look, the Bible couldn't be more direct about this. This verse from Romans is an absolute anchor for the Christian faith. It says that for anyone who is in a relationship with God through Jesus, condemnation is it's off the table. It's gone. So any voice that's dragging you down into hopelessness and shame, that voice is not from God, period. So what does this all boil down to? It's so important to see that God's conviction isn't a punishment. It's actually one of the most beautiful expressions of his mercy. It is an active, personal invitation to turn around and come back home. Let me show you a powerful example of this in action. Think about the story of the Samaritan woman at the well. Here's a woman who is a total outcast. She was carrying this immense weight of shame from a really messy past, a string of broken relationships. She went to the well at noon, the hottest part of the day, just so she wouldn't have to face the judging stares of the other women. But Jesus, he intentionally goes right to where she is, in her shame and isolation. And in their conversation, he so gently, so lovingly reveals the truth about her life. He brings up our sin, yes, but not to pile on more shame, not to condemn her. He does it to begin the process of healing. He truly sees her, and he offers her a way forward. And the result? It's absolutely mind-blowing. This one encounter with mercy, with truth spoken in pure love, completely transforms her life. Her dignity is restored. She's so full of hope that she literally runs back to the very town she was hiding from and tells everyone what happened. She becomes a witness who brings her whole community to Jesus. Now that is the power of conviction over condemnation. You see, this story just peels back the curtain on God's heart. He is not standing there with his arms crossed, waiting for you to mess up so he can push you away. No, he's waiting with his arms wide open, ready to receive you. A heart that's genuinely broken over its sin and turns back to him is something he will never, ever reject. Okay, so how do we actually walk this out in our own lives? Responding to God's invitation to come home isn't just about a feeling. It often means taking some really practical, intentional steps on the path to healing. Now, your job isn't to somehow earn your healing, it's just to respond to it. And the Bible gives us a really clear path. First, draw near to God, and the promise is that he will draw near to you. Second, submit to God, which isn't about being defeated, it's about surrender and trust. And it's from that place of closeness and trust that you get the strength for step 3, to resist the things that want to pull you back into the darkness. And this is a pattern you see again and again and again in the Bible. Sometimes to move into the new blessing God has for you, you have to separate from the old things holding you back. I mean, Abraham had to leave his homeland. Israel had to leave Egypt. The disciples had to literally drop their nets to follow Jesus. So the question for us is, what might you need to leave behind to step into your healing? And please hear this. This kind of separation is never, ever a punishment. It's protection. It's God lovingly creating a safe space for your restoration to actually take root and grow strong. He's protecting your healing and getting you aligned with the amazing purpose he created you for in the first place. All right, so where is all this heading? What's the goal of this whole journey of restoration? Well, it leads to a completely new way of living, a lifestyle the Bible calls walking in the light. And let's be super clear here. Walking in the light doesn't mean you have to be perfect. Not at all. It's about an ongoing process of joyful surrender. It means living openly and honestly before God, letting his truth constantly heal and correct and realign us. It's all about progress, not perfection. Because at the end of the day, the goal of this entire thing is real, genuine freedom. Freedom from the sin that used to have a grip on you, and freedom from the condemnation that tried to crush you. It's the kind of life God wanted for us all the way back in the beginning. A life full of joy and peace and purpose. So let's wrap this up. If there's one thing to take away, it's this. God's conviction is not a weapon meant to hurt you. It's a gift. It's an incredible expression of his mercy, a loving invitation to come home and be healed. The light exposes things not to shame you, but to heal you. So the only question left is, what is that light revealing in your heart today, and how are you going to respond?